Cody Rhodes will not finish his story because Roman Reigns' story is not complete. Today, man, welcome to DMB Wrestling Show. I go by the name of Bake, aka the most dominant man breathing. And welcome to the show. Today's topic at hand is talking about Roman Reigns' story is not complete. Cody Rhodes can't finish his story just yet. We all know Cody, the goal was for Cody to come in at Wrestlemania. And this is a hypothetical because nobody knows but the people behind the scenes. But Cody was supposed to go into WrestleMania and start a year-long terror of building his name, building his credibility, building up the aura of he's the guy to beat the Roman Reigns empire, to destroy the bloodline and the empire. But we all know what happened in Hell in the Cell with Seth Rollins. Before that, he got hurt. He tore his pectoral muscle and he was forced to be out for a whole 6 months. Then he came back Royal Rumble, and we all knew he was going to win. And now they're trying to build him up as the guy. But he hasn't been on no pay-per-views. He wasn't at Elimination Chambers. The only match he had was the Royal Rumble. Then he had some small matches here and there to try to build it up. But it just feels like his story is missing a whole lot of chapters. And to just rush to the end of the story, it won't work. Now let's dive back and let's talk about Roman Reigns before we get back into Cody. Roman Reigns is on the borderline of having one of the longest up there, I think top 3, longest reigning defending champion in WWE history. And he's had a hell of a ride. He's beat greats like Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, John Cena, Finn Balor, Edge, Bryan Danielson. Like the list go on and on and on and on. He has done everything you would want to do. And he has became box office. And I think everybody's saying they're tired of Roman Reigns being champion because they're bored of it. But in all honesty, bro, what will the WWE do when Roman Reigns is not on television as often as he is? What are you going to do if he's not on Raw, if he's not on SmackDown, if he's not on these things? Yeah, it's just another opportunity to build up other characters, but the shows are going to be lackluster. We don't realize how big the bloodline storyline has become. And whose fault is that? It could be WWE's fault that they didn't big other storylines, but the bloodline is one of the biggest storylines ever, and I mean ever, in WWE history. And to finally have it come to an end, I'm telling you, people are going to miss Roman Reigns when he's not on television as much, when he probably start doing other things and other endeavors. But his story is not complete. I know you're probably like, well, Bake, how? He's done so much. How is Roman Reigns' story not complete? I'm going to tell you how. He needs to get 1,000. He has to get into the stratosphere of 1,000 days with the title. 1,000 days in the Roman Empire. 1,000 days of the bloodline terror. And Cody Rhodes' story is not complete. How can you miss 6 chapters, if you want to go month to month? 6 chapters of story and build up to just get to Royal Rumble, and now you're in the main event and you haven't been on no pay-per-view besides Royal Rumble, and you've been doing a little bit here, a little bit there, I don't think it's the right time. And Roman's culmination, this would be his greatest culmination. He reached 1,000 days. He was one of the longest reigning defending champions in WWE history. He's beat everybody. You can't just have Cody come in and then beat Roman. He will lose. The empire must fall. Everything has to come to an end, but it's just not time yet. And because the reason why it's not time is because Cody, and it's not his fault, he got injured. Cody has been an emotional character. And you know what would drive people emotionally? Is if Cody Rhodes loses at WrestleMania. If Cody Rhodes doesn't finish his story. If Cody Rhodes gets to the grand stage of them all and falls short yet again, it's going to build that character even more in depth, because now he has some time to get to SummerSlam. You have Roman fight some more people, but then Cody is building up, getting to some names. Maybe he fight Brock Lesnar. Maybe he fight Drew McIntyre. Maybe he fight some people to build up that legacy, build up his name. Like, he's not stopping till he finished his story. And Roman is just coasting. Like, he's past God mode. He is on top of the top. He is iconic. Like, God mode is God mode, but he's iconic. He's the gods of all gods, put it that way. Because God mode is supposed to be top tier, but he's the gods of gods. He's got 1,000 days of reigning terror. That ain't been done in years. That has not been done in years. And Roman Reigns has that ability to culminate his story. And that will be his culmination. The other stuff would be icing on the cake until it builds up to SummerSlam. But Cody can't win. He's not supposed to win. It's not right for him to win just like that. There's no buildup. Imagine having a fight, and you see this guy who's supposed to be looked at as the underdog, and he goes into his first fight and he wins. The first time he fights the bad guy. It's cool. It's a good feeling, but it's not the fulfilling moment that you would want to get if a guy's fighting a bad guy. You got to have a struggle. Cody hasn't had a struggle. He needs to have it where he's still fighting. He's still preparing. He's still getting better. He's still improving. He's still doing the things he needs to do to finish his story, because he needs a struggle. That struggle will be his climax at WrestleMania, not getting it done. Roman talked about your dad. He talked about you, how you was never good enough. And maybe it started to eat at him psychologically. Maybe I'm not good enough. And then Cody turns into his greatest form. Cody has not reached his greatest form. Once he takes it to that greater and even greater and bigger level, then it makes us feel like it's done. It's like Rocky. Rocky gets beat, but when he goes through all that turmoil and then he gets into that conditioning and training and he keeps fighting and he keeps fighting, you know it's time. He's about to do it. And even when you have that match where you know Rocky's going to win, you still make it look like he could lose. But Roman cannot lose at WrestleMania. WWE should not allow Roman to lose at WrestleMania. Let him reach 1,000. He has done so much for the company. The greatest gift you can give a man is let him hit that 1,000 club. Let him hit that 1,000 club. Maybe if you don't want to go all the way to SummerSlam, at least give him that. He deserves that. He's put the company on his back for over 3 years, 3 or 4 years, 3 years. Since the pandemic, what is that, 3 years, 4 years now? At least allow him to have 1,000 days of terror. 1,000 days of the Roman Empire, 1,000 days of the bloodline dominance. You have to let that ride. You have to let it ride. Maybe the Usos lose at WrestleMania, but Roman don't. Because now there's cracks, but it ain't broken. Y'all let me know in the comments below. Do you feel like Roman Reigns should lose at WrestleMania to Cody Rhodes? Or Cody needs to build up that character even more to be the guy that breaks down and eliminates the Roman Empire? It's your boy Bake Man. Welcome to DMB's Wrestling Show. Every Locked In, where we talk about wrestling every Friday, man. From the most dominant man breathing. I love you guys. Peace.